Someone stole my package, and my world ended. Staring at the empty space on the delivery shelf, I made a silent vow. If I find you, I'm going to shove your head so far up your own ass. But I had barely left the mail hub when I got a call from an unknown number. The man on the other end was stammering. "Hi, is this Riley? I think I took your package by mistake." I paused for a second. Are you okay?" The man hesitated. "Thanks, I'm fine, but your package. It's vibrating. A lot." "My package? Vibrating a lot?" I was completely baffled by what he was saying. I quickly asked him, "Hey, can you tell me where you are right now? I'll come get it. I'm at the entrance to Southwood Medical Center." "Okay." I hopped on my scooter and floored it. The electric toy I'd spent a few $100 on was in that box. I couldn't lose it. When I screeched to a halt in front of the medical center, I spotted him immediately, a man holding a box, looking completely lost. Strong brows, big eyes, a high nose, broad shoulders, a narrow waist, and long legs. Oh my God. He was exactly my type. I quickly parked my scooter on the curb, checked my hair in the rearview mirror, and then slowly walked over. "Hi, my name is Riley." The second I opened my mouth, he reacted like a monkey with its butt on fire. He shoved the box into my arms, his handsome face beet red. Ms. Riley, you should take care of yourself." Then he turned to leave. "Hold on a minute. Take care of what?" I grabbed his arm. That's when I felt the vibrations in the box I was holding. The BZZ, BZZ, BZZ sounded just like my little monster. But, this really wasn't it. I grabbed him again. "Hey, it's not what you think." As I said it, I tried to rip open the package to show him. I swear I'm not a pervert. But the more I tried to prove my innocence, the more the stupid packaging seemed to fight back. I couldn't tear it open no matter what. Why did the seller use so much tape? "I'm so leaving you a bad review." I fumbled and tore at the box. A bunch of college students on the sidewalk were starting to stare. What are they doing? My guess? She cheated, he caught her, and now she's begging for forgiveness. Or maybe she was out fooling around, caught something, and now she's begging him not to dump her. I think she conspired with his best friend to betray him, and now she's pretending to make up so she can really screw him over later. Oh, my God. Can you people watch fewer trashy web dramas? I was seriously going to die. You know what? Fine. I'm ready to die right here. Just as I was about to give up and let the ground swallow me whole, the man beside me spoke up. "It's just a little something between a couple. What are you all speculating about? First of all, you're a good person for that. But second of all, oh no, you've got it all wrong, too." The man turned and patted my shoulder, giving me a look that said, "I get it." What do you get? I was panicking. He tried to console me, ahem, "We're all adults, but you still need to have some self-control, Ms. Riley." Self-control my ass. Noticing the stubble on his chin, I guessed he was a professor at the medical school. At that point, I figured I might as well go for broke. "You got a name, or are you scared to give it?" The man stopped in his tracks. "Leo Pierce." "I don't care what your name is, I'm about to ruin your day." I immediately shouted to the growing crowd, "Leo Pierce, you bastard. You knocked me up and now you're trying to run, you deadbeat." With that, I turned and bolted. Humph. You embarrass me once, I'll embarrass you right back. Now we're even. I got home, completely out of breath, and collapsed onto the sofa. I couldn't move. Seriously. But whenever I thought about Leo Pierce chasing after me, yelling for me to explain myself, I couldn't help but laugh. He. It's true what they say, people never think it's too much trouble to cause a little chaos. I triumphantly presented the package to my nephew. "Ethan, your auntie's got a surprise for you." My nephew didn't even look up. Just put it down. Wow. I spend a few $100s on a toy for you, and that's your reaction? I sat down next to him and said earnestly, Ethan, when a grown-up buys you a gift, you're supposed to provide a little positive feedback, right? Let's try that again. Ethan finally put down his homework. He looked up at me and forced a smile. Thank you, Aunt Riley. His expression was completely robotic. I pouted and was about to leave when I heard the sound of a package being ripped open behind me. Go on, open it. You're going to love this gift. Under my expectant gaze, Ethan looked back at me, completely unimpressed. Auntie, next time, can you buy me a toy for a higher IQ? I felt like I'd been struck by lightning. Great, I was just dissed by a 6-year-old. Later that night, I shot up in bed. Why, though? How could a 6-year-old kid not like a transformer? The next morning, my sister-in-law knocked on the door. She said Ethan had been playing with the toy until midnight, fell asleep without his blanket, and had caught a cold. She was heading out of town for work and asked me to take him to the doctor. See? I knew it. I dragged Ethan out of bed, bundled him up like a burrito, and we zipped off to the hospital on my trusty little scooter. After checking in, we went into the exam room. The doctor in the white coat and mask looked vaguely familiar. Have I seen you somewhere before? After the checkup, the doctor said, it's a common cold. Some medicine should clear it right up. As he spoke, his eyes stayed fixed on me. I instinctively clutched my chest. The doctor paused. Ms. Riley, have you forgotten me already? Huh? Before I could react, Ethan jumped up from his chair. Wow, Aunt Riley, you found my new uncle? My face flushed as I finally noticed the name tag on the doctor's coat. Leo Pierce. Wasn't that the guy from yesterday? Yikes. Talk about a small world. I was about to make a run for it, but Leo stood up and blocked my path. That wasn't very nice, Ms. Riley. I was trying to help you out of a jam yesterday, and you accuse me of knocking you up and leaving you? With my nephew's eager, gossip-hungry eyes on me, I swallowed hard and stuck my chin out. Well, what was I supposed to do? You were talking nonsense. It was a toy I bought for my nephew, and you made it sound like that kind of thing. Beside me, Ethan rolled his eyes. Aunt Riley, stop making things up. Do I look like I'd play with a toy like that? If you wanted to play with it yourself, just say so. Don't use me as a MMPH. Before he could finish, I clapped a hand over his mouth. Shut up, you little brat. Isn't this misunderstanding big enough already? I looked at Leo's all-knowing expression. I slapped my forehead. It's over. There's no explaining my way out of this now. I decided to just own it. Fine. I bought it for myself. What are you gonna do about it? Leo stared at me, stunned. He probably never expected to meet a woman so completely uninhibited. After struggling to find the right words, he finally stammered, Well, Ms. Riley, you certainly are bold. I grabbed my nephew and headed for the door, but Leo called out from behind me. Don't forget to bring him back for shots for the next 3 days. What? 3 more days? Just kill me now. I only said all that because I thought I'd never see him again. Who knew? I'm going to die. After taking Ethan to get his shot, I went home and tossed and turned in bed. Riley, oh, Riley. You've really embarrassed yourself this time. And you have to do it for 2 more days. I've already run out of holes to crawl into. The next day, I forced myself to go. I felt like I was sitting on pins and needles under Leo's occasional glances. The 3rd day, I really didn't want to go. I dropped Ethan off at the hospital entrance and patted his shoulder. Ethan, you're not a little kid anymore. It's time you learned to take care of yourself, right? Ethan rolled his eyes. Aunt Riley, you're just scared of Dr. Pierce, aren't you? No way. I quickly gave him some instructions and fled. I've already worn holes in 2 pairs of socks from anxiety these past 2 days. As a broke working girl, my heart ached. The aunt's debt is paid by the nephew. Ethan, my boy, you'll just have to bear this burden for me. As I was leaving the hospital, I suddenly saw a figure hauling a giant package toward the parking lot. That silhouette looked kind of familiar. Hey, wasn't that Leo Pierce? Curious, I jogged over to follow him. As I got closer, I saw it. Was he carrying a giant, human-shaped doll wrapped in a burlap sack? Aha! Busted. And you had the nerve to judge me? Look at you. Seeing the sneaky look on Leo's face, a wicked idea popped into my head. You've made me die of social embarrassment for the past 2 days. Now it's your turn. I casually walked up behind him and slapped him hard on the shoulder. Haha. Busted. My shout made several nearby nurses and doctors turn to look at us. Leo turned around, completely bewildered. You. Busted what? I put my hands behind my back and strolled in front of him with a smug look. I glanced at the human-shaped doll and gave him a knowing, gossipy smile. The other day you were telling me I needed self-control. I never thought the one who really lacked it was you. As I said it, I even reached out and tapped his package. Springy. Yep, top-quality silicone. I patted his shoulder sagely. Dr. Pierce, if you're that lonely, you should just find a girlfriend. This isn't a long-term solution. After all, it's just an object. How can it compare to the comfort of a real girlfriend warming your bed? The nearby doctors and nurses started to edge closer. They didn't get too close, but they were all straining to hear. Some even started whispering and pointing. I always thought Dr. Pierce was the hospital's untouchable ice king. Never would have guessed. He's into dolls? Leo, baby, don't play with it, play with me. The teasing remarks made Leo's face turn bright red. He quickly tossed the thing into his trunk and tried to explain. It's not what you think. This is a tool for practice. Oh, I said, circling him with a meaningful look. So, it's a tool. And here I was thinking it was a. Leo panicked, rushing over to cover my mouth. His hushed voice was a warm breath in my ear. Please, don't say it. The strong, masculine scent of him washed over me. He seemed to realize it a second later and quickly let go. I mean, don't say things that could 'cause a misunderstanding. I tilted my head up and watched his Adam's apple bob. For a split second, my throat felt a little dry. Dr. Pierce, what kind of misunderstanding are you afraid of? Leo instinctively looked down. Suddenly, a warmth pressed against my lips. Both of our eyes shot wide open in shock. Then we both jerked our heads away. Oh, crap. Now this is a huge misunderstanding. When we pulled apart, I was trembling slightly. Partly from the new sensation, partly from anger. I've been single my whole life, and that was my first kiss? I didn't even give it to my little monster. Arg. The medical staff nearby were all hooting and hollering. Way to go, Dr. Pierce. You're into some kinky stuff. Don't mind us, carry on. They all dropped their comments and scurried off, not giving me a chance to explain. There's really nothing going on between us. Why doesn't anyone believe me? I pushed Leo away and turned to leave, but he grabbed my arm. With a serious expression, he pulled me over to his trunk and ripped open the packaging right in front of me. It's an acupuncture dummy, not the kind of doll you're thinking of. I laughed, but I was furious. Absolutely furious. You steal my first kiss, and now you show me this? Humph. If I don't get my kiss back today, my name isn't Riley. While Leo was distracted, I grabbed his head and planted my lips on his. Hard. I didn't let go until his eyes glazed over and he looked like he didn't know what planet he was on. Then I pulled back and wiped my mouth. I straightened my slightly wrinkled collar. Now we're even. Leo just stood there, his eyes wide. After a long moment, he finally stammered, "That was my first kiss. You think it wasn't mine?" I shot him a glare and stormed off. I was almost home before I remembered. Crap. My nephew was still at the hospital. I rushed back as fast as I could. When I got there, Ethan was standing all alone at the hospital entrance. His big, watery eyes were darting around as if he was questioning his entire existence. I slammed on the brakes in front of him. "Get on." As soon as Ethan was on the scooter, he said gloomily, "Aunt Riley, you know child abandonment is a crime." His comment left me speechless. After thinking for a moment, I said, "I had a good reason, and besides, I'm not your mother." Ethan went silent. "Humph, you little punk. Think you can outsmart me? You've still got a lot to learn." In the rearview mirror, Ethan pushed up his glasses and said matter-of-factly, "Aunt Riley, your lipstick is smeared. You must have reapplied it. Also, Dr. Pierce seemed totally out of it when he came back. You guys were making out, weren't you?" My grip on the handlebars tightened. "Ethan, you know what? Sometimes, it's not a good thing for a kid to know too much." Ethan pressed his lips together, then suddenly turned to look at me. "Aunt Riley, you like Dr. Pierce, don't you?" His question caught me off guard. "Like Leo?" Well, honestly, Leo was definitely my type. Broad shoulders, narrow waist, long legs, a sharp nose. He looked like. But I couldn't just throw myself at him. Besides, who knows if he has a girlfriend? Before I could think any more about it, Ethan spoke up again. "Auntie, I already did the recon for you. Dr. Pierce is single. He had a first love, but it ended. Based on normal plot development, as long as his ex doesn't come back, you two should be able to make it work." My eyes lit up. "Really?" Ethan assured me, "It's a lock." Egged on by my little nephew, I took the plunge and began my quest to win my man. They say it's easy for a girl to get a guy. I refused to believe that with my charm, I couldn't win over one Leo Pierce. But I very quickly hit my first wall. Leo's a doctor. To get close to him, I'd have to make an appointment, right? Then we could casually chat about my health and maybe go out for dinner. One thing leads to another, and boom, love. Except, I failed at step 1. I had just sat down in the exam room. Leo looked at my chart, then checked my pulse. His face was blank. Hormonal imbalance. Stop staying up late, go to bed early, get up early. Next. Leo Pierce, you big idiot. I refused to leave the room and pulled out my phone. Looking at Leo, I tried to put on my most pitiful expression. "Dr. Pierce, is my condition really serious? Maybe we could exchange numbers, and you can explain it to me in more detail after you get off work." Leo didn't even look up. "Ms. Riley, if you just go to bed earlier, your problem will resolve itself." I bit my lip and decided to go all in. "But I can't sleep without you." The man in front of me froze for a second. His long fingers tapped rapidly on the keyboard. I peeked at the screen. Oh, fantastic. He was scheduling me for a psych consult. That jerk. He actually thought I was crazy. When I got home, I collapsed onto my bed in defeat and texted my best friend. "Hey, I'm into this doctor, but he thinks I'm crazy. What do I do?" "Chloe, then you should probably get treatment." My fists clenched. I took a deep breath. This is my number one bestie, my number one bestie. A moment later, she sent another message. "Chloe, depends on what you want. If you just want to get in his pants, just ask him out for drinks. If you can get him to go out, you're halfway there." I thought about it and replied, "What if I'm actually into him as a person?" "Chloe, a tiger can change its stripes." You never said anything, so I honestly thought you were into girls. Me? No wonder she'd been avoiding me ever since we graduated from college. She was only willing to chat online, never meet up in person. She thought I wasn't straight this whole time? I am perfectly straight, thank you very much. I didn't bother explaining and just replied. Just tell me how to get him. The typing bubble on her end blinked for a long time. Then 5 words appeared. Be persistent. He'll cave. I wanted to ask more, but she said she was going to bed and told me to figure it out myself. How am I supposed to figure this out myself? Just be persistent. But what if he gets annoyed with me? I tossed and turned in bed, unable to sleep. Honestly, I'd asked around about Leo. He was the hospital's ice king, a prize no one had ever managed to claim. How was I supposed to win over someone like that? In desperation, I took a cab to my best friend's place in the middle of the night and started banging on her door. After about 5 minutes, Chloe came to the door in her pajamas. The first thing she said when she saw me was, "Riley, are you insane?" "Yes, lovesick." I grabbed her hand and begged her to teach me her man-catching secrets. Roused from her sleep, Chloe couldn't go back to bed either. She pulled me over to the sofa. "Why are you so dense? If you can't win him over, just take him by force." My brain short-circuited. What does take him by force mean? Chloe rolled her eyes. Guys like him who seem all cold and distant are actually the opposite on the inside. You just have to be aggressive and tear down that wall he puts up. Break through it, and you'll get everything you want. Got it? I think I kind of got it. But I also think I didn't get it at all. What does aggressively tear down that wall even mean? I immediately Googled it. Is it against a guy's will if a girl forces herself on him? Then I had another thought. Wait a minute. If he won't let me have him, isn't he going against my will? The logic wasn't exactly sound, and my confidence wasn't exactly high, either. Damn it, Chloe, what kind of terrible advice is this? I went home and agonized over it for days, until I had dark circles under my eyes. Then, as soon as Ethan got home from school, he ran up to me in a panic. Aunt Riley, something terrible has happened." Before I could figure out what was going on, he leaned in and showed me his smartwatch. He tapped on the screen, and a video popped up. In the video, Leo, dressed in casual clothes, was walking into my nephew's elementary school. He slung an arm around another male teacher, and they walked off, laughing and talking, got into a car, and drove away. I was a little confused. So, what's the problem? But Ethan put on his most serious face. "Auntie, don't you see? Dr. Pierce is into guys." Those words hit me like a bolt of lightning. A great guy like him, is gay? Isn't that such a waste? But I still didn't want to believe it. No way. They're probably just good friends. Ethan sighed, sounding like a world-weary old man. A woman in love. You could point out the brick wall she's about to hit, and she still wouldn't turn back. Then he pointed at the screen again. "Auntie, look at how close they are. Do they look like just friends? At that distance, they're either about to fight or about to kiss." After Ethan's detailed explanation, I could already picture the rest of the story. Leo and his boyfriend, locked in an embrace. Wine, candles, little leather whips. Then handcuffs, neckties. In the past, I would have shipped them so hard. But now? Oh, God, no. Why is the man of my dreams gay? I wanted to scream at the sky. Oh, cruel world, why hast thou forsaken me? My quest for love is barely begun, and my chosen one plays for the other team. Who could possibly understand my pain? As I sat there, clutching my phone and sobbing uncontrollably, an unknown number called. "Who is it?" I asked, my voice thick with tears. The other end was silent for a moment. Just as I was about to hang up, a cool male voice came through. "It's only been a few days. Why are you crying?" I sniffled, instantly recognizing his voice. It was Leo. Ugh, I'm not talking to this gay man. I don't feel well. I'm hanging up. The second I said it, his voice became urgent. Wait. What's wrong? Tell me. I held the phone, at a loss. I mumbled a reply. My heart hurts. Can you fix that? A suppressed laugh came from the other end. It was a man. All my grief suddenly boiled over. I screamed into the phone, Leo Pierce, I like you, but I'm not just some part of your kinky games. You jerk. Go away. I slammed the hang-up button and buried my face in my blankets, crying my eyes out. How could a man be so vile? He doesn't even like me. He likes men. And yet he still calls to harass me while he's playing games with his boyfriend. Does he have some weird phone fetish? Jerk. I was sitting on my bed wiping away tears when I heard a knock on the door. Ethan came running over. Auntie, I think someone's here for you. For me? Who would be here this late at night? Confused, I slipped on my bunny slippers and went to the door. Through the peephole, I saw a man standing outside. There were beads of sweat on his forehead. Leo? What was he doing here? Seeing him out of breath with a flushed face, my mind immediately jumped to what he might have been doing just now. A chill ran down my spine. I spoke through the door. What do you want? Leo leaned against the doorframe, panting. You said you weren't feeling well. I came to check on you. That just made me angrier. I thought you liked men. Why are you here checking on me? The other side of the door went silent. Ha! I hit the nail on the head. But the next second, the knocking started again, faster and more insistent. Riley. What do you mean I like men? You'd better explain yourself. Deny. I snorted. I heard you too just now, and look at your neck, you've got a hickey. Through the peephole, I saw Leo pull out his phone to check his reflection. His expression changed instantly. He explained frantically, this isn't a hickey, it's a mosquito bite. Yeah, right. I totally believe you. When he saw I wasn't responding, Leo got even more anxious. Riley, listen to me. I've been studying medicine my whole life, so I have no experience with girls. I went to my best friend for advice, he was my wingman, that's all. I don't like men. Please, just let me explain. Hearing that, I started to have some doubts. But there was still a sliver of hope. What if he wasn't gay? After thinking it over, I grabbed a frying pan from the kitchen, hid it behind my back, and opened the door. When the door opened, Leo stood there, looking awkward. After a long pause, as if he'd mustered all his courage, he asked, Do you like me? Okay, excuse me? Sir, are you always this blunt? I pressed my lips together and didn't answer. Leo scratched his head. The cool, aloof guy from before was gone, replaced by someone else entirely. No, he didn't even seem human right now. He looked more like a puppy about to be abandoned by its owner. His cool eyes were now moist and shimmering, like a spring pond. And he looked a little shy. You kissed me last time. You have to take responsibility. Before I could say anything, he added, and you can't use, I like men, as an excuse to reject me. I was stunned. I wanted to drag him to the security camera footage. Let the heavens be my witness. He's the one who leaned down and kissed me. How did it become my fault that I stole his first kiss? And what's with this showing up at my door demanding I take responsibility? Who taught him to do this? Who? I still hadn't figured it out when Leo's handsome face leaned in close again. He held out his hand to me. Seeing the red mark on the back of his hand, I was confused. He explained with a blush, the one on my neck isn't a hickey. Look, this is a hickey. He then proceeded to give me a science lesson. The red mark on his neck was a raised bump with a tiny red dot in the middle, clearly a bug bite. The mark on his hand wasn't raised and had tiny broken capillaries from being sucked. See? This is a hickey. Got it? Listening to his frantic explanation, I felt an urge to laugh. Okay, I believe you. All right? But he was like a flustered puppy. What do you mean, all right? It's the truth. Well, how are you going to prove it? Seeing him so worked up, I couldn't resist teasing him. But that was a mistake. He seemed to make up his mind about something. Suddenly, he pulled me into a hug and buried his face in the crook of my neck. An initial tickling sensation was followed by a sharp, tingling pain. I wanted to push him away, but my limbs wouldn't obey. I went limp in his arms. After what felt like a lifetime, I regained some strength and pushed him away. You pervert. Leo's eyes were filled with a shy light as he pointed to my neck. See? Proof. I pulled out my phone and aimed the camera at my neck. I was completely dumbfounded. That's how you prove it? Leo Pierce. I glanced over my shoulder. Ethan was peeking out of his room, his head stuck out the door. I felt my face burning up. I grabbed Leo's arm and dragged him out of the apartment. I didn't let go until we were in the community park. Touching my hot cheeks, I was too embarrassed to look at him. When did you realize I liked you? After what he did to my neck, it was like a switch had been flipped in Leo. I was starting to think he was part golden retriever. He held my hand and wouldn't let go, saying carefully, honestly, I noticed you ever since that first misunderstanding. The only reason I didn't say anything was because my friend told me to play it cool. He said, if it's too easy, the girl will dump you. I see. So, does your friend have a girlfriend? I asked. Leo paused for 2 seconds. No. I had to laugh. You actually took dating advice from a single guy? After I looked at their chat history on his phone, I completely lost it. The conversation between those two was just something else. Leo, I've started to like this girl, and I think she might like me too. Give me some advice, fast. It's urgent. Mark, I know you're in a hurry, but first, don't be in a hurry. Leo, if you say one more useless thing, I'll use you for anatomy practice. Mark, Dad, even a tiger doesn't eat its own cub. Leo, cut the crap. How do I win her over? Mark forwarded 10 videos. The perfect guide to the flirting stage. One sentence to warm her heart all day. If a girl likes you, don't say yes right away, do this instead. How to pursue a girl you like. And a bunch of other self-help nonsense. It was giving me a headache. Then came Mark's brilliant summary. Mark, long story short, what did you learn from those videos? When you're dating, don't say yes too quickly. You have to string her along, let her like you a little more, and then agree. That way, you'll have the upper hand in the relationship. After reading the messages, I looked at Leo with a sly smile. I took 2 steps closer, backing him up against the railing. I reached out, hooked a finger in the collar of his shirt, and breathed softly onto his lips. So, you wanted to have the upper hand, huh? Leo's face, which had been a normal color, turned completely red. His knuckles turned white as he gripped the railing. I smirked and leaned in even closer. What's the matter, cat got your tongue? You seemed pretty confident in your texts. Now even his ears were so red they looked like they were about to bleed. Leo bit his lip and stammered, no, it's not like that. Then what is it like? I teased, holding back a laugh. But he pushed me away and took off running. Humph. Nice try. All that studying, all those dating guides. Completely useless against the simple, powerful techniques my best friend taught me. He's got nothing. But then he ran back. I almost burst out laughing. He came up to me, blushing, and handed me his phone. We haven't exchanged numbers yet. Well, I guess I can do that. Once he was finally gone, I pulled out my phone and texted Chloe. Me, got him. She replied instantly. Chloe, that fast? Damn, girl, you learned from the best. You know it. I'm your star pupil. I then told her everything that happened that day. But Chloe was quiet for a long time before she video called me. I was back in my room by then. The first thing she saw was the hickey on my neck. He did that? I nodded, a little embarrassed. Chloe's expression turned serious. Something's wrong. Something is very, very wrong. Huh? I quickly asked, what's wrong? Chloe launched into her analysis. Think about it. A guy you've only met a few times kisses you by accident, then says he's never been in a relationship. How could he immediately know to give you a hickey to prove a point? And on your neck, of all places. This guy has major issues. As she spoke, her expression grew even more grave. And think about this, why was he in such a hurry to come find you and prove himself? He's that handsome, you think no one wants him? Absolutely not. Furthermore, a guy like that definitely doesn't lack for admirers at work or in his personal life. You're telling me he doesn't like any of them? Impossible, honey. Now that she put it that way, I started to calm down. She had a point. A highly educated doctor like Leo, who's also an instructor at the medical school, how could he possibly be short on people chasing him? Chloe continued, so, based on all this, I suspect he came to you on purpose. What do you mean? I didn't get it. Chloe was getting frustrated. Think. If we assume he's gay, and that basically everyone in his life knows he's gay, then doesn't it all make sense? But I still didn't understand. How did that make sense? Chloe let out a long sigh. Ugh. You. I can't with you. He's gay. To cover it up and produce an heir, he found someone he doesn't know well but who likes him. That way, he can get married, have kids, and satisfy his parents. Once that's done, he'll drop the act, give you the cold shoulder, and go back to his boyfriend. What will you do then? By that point, you'll be so invested, and you'll have a kid. He'll definitely use that to control you. If you don't believe me, just watch. It could be days, or it could be 6 months, but he's going to bring up marriage very soon. Chloe's words were like a bucket of ice water. My budding romantic feelings were instantly frozen. She was right. If that was the case, then the rest of my life would be. Just then, a text came in from Leo. Can I call you Riley? I took tomorrow off. Let's go look at wedding dresses. I was freaking out. This was exactly what Chloe had predicted. What do I do? What do I do? I quickly asked Chloe. She sneered. Humph, tell him to get lost. A closet case looking for a beard dares to mess with my friend? Even though I was reluctant, all the signs were pointing to what Chloe said. And all those stories I'd read online. All those cautionary tales were telling me the same thing. The worst thing that can happen to a woman is marrying a gay man. And damn it, I was already so smitten. I stared at my phone for a long time before finally deciding. Better to rip the band-aid off now. I gritted my teeth and texted him, we're not a good match. Let's break up. Then I immediately blocked and deleted his number. On the other end, Leo was about to lose his mind. How could things have been fine 1 minute and over the next? He frantically texted his friend. Leo, what kind of crappy advice did you give me? She blocked me. Mark, that doesn't make sense. The guides all say that. In a relationship, you have to show the girl you're serious about the future. Taking her to a bridal shop should have been perfect. Leo, then why did she block me? Mark, the theory is sound. It must have been your execution. In the middle of the night, he got out of bed and punched the wall. I never should have listened to him. He's single. Why did I listen to a single guy? After getting into a relationship and breaking up on the same day, I holed up at home for 3 days. I didn't see anyone. I didn't even want to answer the door when my nephew, Ethan, came knocking. Seeing that I wasn't coming out, Ethan silently took out his little smartwatch. "Hello? Dr. Pierce? I think my aunt is mad. Did you do something? Stay right there. I'm on my way." The call ended. I don't know how much time passed. I had just fallen asleep when I felt a tickle on my face. I opened my eyes. Ethan was tickling me with a paintbrush. "Stop it," I mumbled groggily, rolling over to go back to sleep. But Ethan pointed to the door. "Ta-da! Auntie, look who I brought." I turned my head. The first thing I saw was Leo's handsome face. "What are you doing here?" Leo pursed his lips and walked into the room. "He said you were in a bad mood, so I came to see you." "You scumbag, pulling this crap again." I grabbed a pillow to throw at him. "Get out, you jerk. Don't come here and ruin my life." Leo caught the pillow, a look of bewilderment on his face. He put the pillow down and asked, confused, "Who told you I was gay?" I shot back, "Then why were you in such a hurry to look at wedding dresses?" Leo slapped his forehead. With a look of utter defeat, he handed me his phone. I took a closer look. Great. How to quickly heat things up with your girlfriend in the early stages of a relationship. You are really... I still wasn't completely convinced, so I went through his entire phone. I even found a few of his treasured instructional videos. Only then did I believe him. Leo tried to come over and hug me. I held him back. "Wait. Let's get our stories straight first." "Our stories?" "No, the 4 of us. At the coffee shop. Me and Leo. Chloe and his best friend, Mark." After the 4 of us cleared up the misunderstanding, our 2 wingmen looked at each other and instantly turned hostile. "Chloe, what kind of terrible advice did you give him? Look at the mess you made." Mark didn't back down an inch. "And you? Your analysis was so off, you changed his entire sexual orientation." Seeing them get more and more heated, I sighed. "Why don't you 2 just exchange numbers and take this fight home, okay?" Leo nodded eagerly. That seemed to stun both of them. Their faces turned red in unison. Something's up here." Leo and I tactfully made our exit, leaving the 2 of them alone. Barely 2 weeks later, when Leo and I were still just at the hand-holding stage with the occasional kiss, they slapped their wedding invitations in our faces. I pulled Mark aside and cornered Chloe. "Hey, this isn't what you taught me. Weren't you the one who said to cut my losses and not be a hopeless romantic? What happened when it was your turn?" Chloe's eyes were filled with the conviction of someone about to join the army. "Don't worry about it. A train wreck is still a relationship. I have my own unique way of crashing and burning. I give up." That night, I saw Mark's chat history with Leo. "Leo, don't you think this is a bit rushed?" Mark, "Duh. If I don't lock it down now, what if she gets away?" "Whatever. Let them be." On our wedding day, Chloe was 6 months pregnant, but she still came to our ceremony with her big belly. The officiant handed the mic to us. "To the bride and groom, as you look back on your journey together, is there anything that was particularly memorable?" Before I could speak, Leo snatched the mic. He said through gritted teeth, "Our journey here was full of obstacles. And now, I'd like to invite those 2 obstacles to come up and say a few words." And then he handed the mic to Chloe and Mark. The camera zoomed in on their faces. Chloe covered her face, her voice barely a whisper. "Hi everyone. If it weren't for us, their kids would probably be running around by now." That night, after we'd finally gotten rid of all our crazy friends, I immediately climbed on top, ready to seize control. But Leo easily flipped me over. His husky voice whispered in my ear again. "Ms. Riley, please, a little self-control. You jerk. Stop pretending."